Hello everyone, welcome back. We're going to take a look at a couple of new vehicle mods, both paid and free ones. So I have two that are paid, and let's get those two out of the way. Let's take a look at those first so you can have an idea whether you want to spend the money to get them or not. And after that, I'm going to show you a couple of free alternatives. So let's start with the first one. This one is called Neo 8 Airspeeder by author Bob 200, and I really like the design of this one, and really the look of this vehicle is what made me want to actually get it. It is very futuristic. It kind of fits very well with the game, and it is a little bit unique in the sense that you have now your companion sitting behind you. So this is, front and back instead of side by side, and you're able to use all three colors if you want to customize the look of it. It does have some details in the dashboard. You cannot interact with that, but at least it's not completely blank. And one thing that I noticed is that even though your character is center, well, pretty close center, but once you get to first person, you can clearly see that you are off to the left. I don't know how this exactly works. I'm not a developer, but it probably has something to do with the game. And it is, of course, one of those hoover vehicles. So the vertical boost is basically unlimited. You can go as high as you like. And then you also have the forward booster. The one thing from this mod that is a little bit weak is the weapon. The weapon is definitely the weak one. Not to mention, it is only semi-automatic. It is not even automatic. I am not having fun shooting this thing. Like it's just not strong. It's just not strong. I hope the author does update that, because otherwise it is worthy of consideration if you like these kind of hoover vehicles and things like that. The other thing about this vehicle, another thing that I've noticed, and it's not just actually with this particular vehicle, but a lot of the vehicles, is that they neglect Vasco. So Vasco sits at the back, and in this one kind of looks, I guess, okay. Vasco, not too bad, not like others where Vasco is just completely clipped into the vehicle. It looks like a really weird. So at least in this one you can kind of see, okay, Vasco kind of stays a little bit okay, but still not perfectly like in the vanilla vehicle. So there you have it. That is the Neo 8 Airspeeder. And I forgot to mention the price. It is 300 creation credits. And the next mod that we're going to take a look, also a pay one. It is the same price, is the Badger. And you get two versions with different weapons. One is the machine gun, and the other one is, I think, is explosive shells, which is basically rockets or grenades and something like that. Of the two, I can tell you that I definitely prefer the one with the explosive shells. The machine gun, again, is just kind of weak, not very fun to shoot. You only get this vehicle probably because, you really like this type of old school design. It is well done, it is nice, it is not bad. One thing that thank God the author fixed is the speed. This thing is really, really slow, which I guess it makes sense, right? Because you're basically making a tank supposed to be slow and heavy, but gameplay wise, I mean, it gives me anxiety. It's just too slow. The author did release another mod that increases the speed, so I think that might help a little bit. This one is, for me, not my style. I do prefer modern, futuristic looking designs whenever possible. A few other weaknesses that I noticed about this is there are no doors, so the animation doesn't particularly look good. Your character basically just kind of magically go through the vehicle. That kind of breaks the immersion quite a lot. It's pretty jarring. And the other thing, again, also Vasco. There is no spot for Vasco. For a moment, when I first saw this, I thought that the two big panels at the back, I thought that they open. I thought that they would interact open and Vasco kind of stays there. But no, those are fixed. They do not move. And Vasco just basically floats on top of it. And when it comes to colors, you can customize it, use all three colors, so no issues in that area. So those are the two pay mods. So let's take a look at some of the new free mods. The first one is this one, the S47 speeder bike. I think this one was just released. I know that the author has another one that was released maybe a few weeks ago. This one is open top versus the other one is enclosed. I do actually like this one a little bit more. Again, you can change the colors. All of that is still there. I think it's very well Star Wars. It kind of has that vibe, but it looks good though. I do like the look of it. And this one, you have your companion sitting facing back. And Vasco also kind of, it sits all right. I do feel like maybe this vehicle is a little bit too small. I feel like it could have a little bit more width, just in general a little bit more size. And I'm happy to say that this one has a good weapon, quite a good amount of damage, and it is fully automatic. If you like hoover vehicles, I think this is a really good choice if you do not want to go the pay route. I also noticed that it seems like the vertical boost is faster than others that I've tried. Yeah, I could be wrong, so definitely a very good alternative to paid vehicle mods. And let's not forget that recently Bethesda just released the Deimog. I have a separate video just covering that vehicle by itself. If you want to take a look, I'll leave the link below. Probably one of my favorite vehicles in the game. The Deimog also has a really strong weapon as well, and it looks really aggressive, really cool, and it has, you know, proper area for Vasco. So if you want something with wheels, I think the Deimog is probably one of the top choices. And continuing with vehicles, like just land vehicles, we also have Inquisitor's mod. I think this was released just recently by Inquisitor, and you have a lot of variants of the vanilla Rev 8. And of course, this is Inquisitor mod, so you get a lot of glowing parts. And I gotta say, it makes the vanilla mod so much cooler. You have close to maybe 20 different variants, and what changes is some of the colors and as well as the weapons. So you're gonna have machine gun vehicles, you're gonna have a flamethrower, and I know that there's also one with freezing blaster that you just freeze your enemies. That's pretty fantastic. And you can see some of them, they also, based on the weapon, you can also see the back changes. So if it's an energy, you kind of see that energy power source, and if it's a flamethrower, you also see those gas tanks. Same thing for the freezing blaster, and if it's a regular machine gun, you have the ammo at the back. So very good attention to detail as always by Inquisitor. I think it's a fantastic mod, and it is completely free. If you want something with wheels and the vanilla Rev 8 is not doing it for you, get this one and play around. And it is from Inquisitor, someone that we know has been making really good mods since day one. Finally, for those who are into Star Wars, you have this one, and you have different variants. You have one where the front is covered, you have one without the cover, and then you have the same options but with a companion. Another thing that you shouldn't do if you're using this one is to choose the single seater but have your companion with you. Because if you do that, your companion is gonna stack underneath you, just like right up your ass in between your balls or something. It's just not good, so just keep that in mind. Make sure that if you have a companion, give them their seat. Don't just jump on the single one and have them kind of sitting below your ass. It just doesn't look good, you know, it totally breaks immersion. Alright, so those are all the vehicle mods for this video. If there are updates to any of these mods, I'll put them probably in the comments. Otherwise, of course, I will be making more videos as new mods get released. So stay tuned, subscribe if you're interested. Otherwise, thank you all for watching, enjoy the game, and I'll see you all in the next video.